Grief is one of the heaviest, densest, most unpleasant emotions known to man. And I'm sorry if you're experiencing it right now, but I want you to stay tuned, lean in, because I have some tips that are going to help you move through this process a lot more quickly. There's a lot of different types of grief, and for the purpose of this conversation, I'm going to talk mostly about the loss of a close loved one. If you're experiencing some other type of grief, I think you'll still find some wisdom here that you can apply to your unique circumstances. So unfortunately, death is something that's inevitable. We have to face this with all of our loved ones unless we leave the planet first. So it behooves everyone to come to terms with how to move through this process because, of course, when people transition from the planet, we miss them. But there are some other emotions that go into this time frame and what you may be experiencing, and it's really important to the process that you understand what the emotions are and where they're coming from, the thoughts that are creating those emotions, so that you can acknowledge and move through them. Some of the more common emotions that come up for people as they're going through this process are anger and resentment. And I know if you haven't heard that before, it may sound weird. Please just bear with me and sit with this. Maybe it doesn't pertain to you, but it does for a lot of people. Think about it. If you've lost someone that you were really close to, you could be angry and resentful at them for leaving you. I know that's not nice to think about, but we can go there and it's okay. You can be angry and resentful at the Creator for allowing them to leave you. It's always too soon if it's someone you loved. You could be mad at yourself for whatever reason. Maybe you should have made a phone call sooner or told them you love them more often. There's all kinds of ways we can throw anger and resentment around. Maybe it's the medical professionals that cared for your loved one or a drunk driver that took them out of commission too soon. There's lots of ways to find people or divinity to blame for the circumstances, and it's a very human thing to do. So don't feel guilt. That's another one that comes up a lot. So don't allow guilt to be one more emotion to add to the equation. You don't need to go there. A lot of times we experience guilt because we're still here and they didn't survive. Maybe there was a tragic accident or something. Or guilt because we didn't say I love you enough, or we weren't there at the end. There's all kinds of things, places we can go when you're going through this grieving process. It's okay, but recognize that this is a game your brain is playing with you. No matter what you think, it's not going to change the circumstances. Yes, you can experience sadness because you miss them. That's legitimate. The anger and the resentment and the guilt are not. Another area guilt comes up. Society tells us there's certain expected time frames we need to move through grief in. And if you move too quickly through it, and heaven forbid, a few days or a few weeks into your grief, you allow a smile or a giggle or a few hours to go by without thinking about your loved one, let me know in comments. I bet you experience guilt over that. Don't. Most people, if they loved you, would prefer for you to just hold on to the pleasant memories and move on with your life. You're attached to the past or other things that are beyond your control. Anger and resentment or guilt over something that happened in the past. If it's something you can't change and you can't control, there is no good that comes out of holding on to it. Yes, you need to acknowledge that you miss them, that they were wonderful and you enjoyed the years you spent together and you feel gypped because you didn't have more time together. You can acknowledge all of that. It's those thoughts that are creating those emotions. Emotions always come from your thoughts. And when you're ready to feel better, which you can't let society dictate. It can be quickly if you allow it to be so. It's okay to acknowledge that you will always miss them, but life is happening now, and you can move on with your busy day or enjoying your other loved ones who you still have in your life. You don't have to dwell on the loss once you've acknowledged it. Let that sink in. Again, there's a lot of guilt there, a lot of struggling that goes on because people don't feel like they can move on. That would be traitorous to look like you've forgotten about your loved ones and you could be happy. Of course you can be happy, and they want you to be happy. If you're not ready, that's okay. But when you're ready, you can just move your thoughts to something a little more neutral. Don't think about your loved one all the time. If you've got a lot of memories and mementos around that are keeping you in that bittersweet sadness, put them away for a little while. Don't go there. Just give yourself some time and space to heal. And when you're ready, you can pull out those mementos and enjoy those really amazing memories. Now might be too soon. The other thing I want to point out with this healing process, and everyone does have their own timeline, but again, it doesn't have to be a long time. Don't let society pressure you or make you feel guilty if you have a busy life, so you can't focus on that loss full time, or your spirit just wants a lift and you actually had a laugh or a smile with a friend. Do that. Don't feel guilty. When you feel like you're ready to move on, it is common after a grieving period for people to hold on to that heaviness and feel like it's still with you even though you're not thinking about your loved one. And if that scenario has happened to you, what's probably happened is those emotions have become trapped in your body. Emotions are energy, and energy is supposed to move. When you feel an emotion, it's supposed to continue moving through you and diffuse into the air. It's not supposed to hang around. But those really heavy, dense emotions, the ones we don't like feeling, they don't always move on as quickly as we'd like. And if you're feeling heavy, even though you're not thinking about your loved one, you probably have some trapped emotion that needs to be diffused. And this is something that's really easy for an energy master to do. I really encourage you to be open to energy work. That could be the lift you need to make you feel a whole lot better and able to move on when you're ready. Don't forget to hit subscribe while you're here, and I'll see you on the next video.